detached
to
from
make
the
Pinehurst
house.
look like, that's what's on the plan when we made that move from all the Sunnyside kids going to Pinehurst. That was also one of those, when we get the money to do, is to reorganize that office and make that flow a little bit better.
And we haven't looked at any restrooms yet. I know we're all dying to look at a restroom, but just, so that we have, yeah.
I would tell you, we can show you the bathrooms, but we do track tardies. So at the beginning of the school year, in 8 days, we had 143 tardies. This last section, we run after school detention through our after school program. We were down to 90 tardies in a 10-day period, so 2 extra days. And we've been as low as 73 in a 10-day window with 260 plus kids. So they can use the restrooms and go get their books and get to class if they want to. And every month we recognize kids with 0 tardies or absences. So. But we'll show you the restrooms here.
That's one of the nice things about this building. There were extra restrooms in it.
Oh, Ira. You should know we have that or something.
Oh, yeah. You have to have an artificial hair.
Oh. I know. I was like, I did stand before. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, we haven't clapped our new cakes. We're doing good.
Oh, that's good.
So do you,
No.
anyone in here?
We're going to make it.
Okay, this is one of the boys' bathrooms.
But the father-in-law stole it.
They are short urinals.
Are they elementary?
They are.
So just to prove that theory, these are actually taller
They're
than
actually
middle school because these meet ADA requirements, which you need to be taller. That was a concern when we moved over here, and actually these are taller than what they had over at the old middle school.
They are?
They are.
Oh.
Because ADA requires them to be 19 inches.
Okay.
Do we have an extra? Sorry, go ahead.
It's all ADA compliant.
Yeah, that's
And we do offer speech services right here, so students that qualify in speech, we do have a separate space for them. Joe's with us a couple days a week, so we're fortunate to have that space.
Frankie days. That's a thing still?
Yes. Nope. That's all the things you think about. So here's part of our office complex. We have the speech and language pathologist here at Kellogg Middle School. Here's the counseling office.
She's for the district, correct?
She is for the district, yes.
Right now, she does middle school, high school, and we hired another speech therapist that does preschool and Carolyn shares that part of the elementary, so there's 2 for our district. We have a caseload of about 150 kids with speech and language services. It's quite a few.
So this
For
just
2
still
people.
says speech and language, even though this is Lisa's office?
That's the counselor's office.
I can't take that down, Tim. That's a nice office.
And then we have our after-school program, WISE program, and his assistant are housed out here.
We could have, because they do district, the people could all be housed where my staff, district staff are housed also, just FYI if this space was needed. But it is nice to have them on campus of the buildings in which they serve, at least have a home base in all the buildings so they can have a place to interact with kids and be there for, events and that kind of thing. So.
Was this all here when the building was built? These 3 offices came this way?
Yes, this is like this.
When this was Sunnyside, that was like a revolving empty space for different things. This was always the counseling office or this.
That was speech originally.
Oh yeah, speech used to use this space.
That's
right.
On the wall.
And then they were both in there, so they didn't
Counselor
switch.
here.
And counselor was in here.
It seems like this was kind of like an interview room. If somebody came in,
Yeah, like for
needed to interview a kid.
testing. Yep, it was like a testing site. like when you go into a building, you always have places to call your home base. It's empty for you. We don't have those. There's no place for me.
We don't have full computers. Conference room, principal's office, all.
Yeah, so the conference room is very nice.
Right, it's not, and it's hard to go to a school.
We use this room constantly. Sometimes if kids are in school, they have to be there too. Principal's office, nurse's room. We do serve several students that have medical issues that room's used every day.
In the nurse's office, community center, have beds in it.
They're still there.
Like sleeping
They are
rooms.
still
They're still there.
There's a good hiding place. I mean, it's curious. If you could get in there. Is there an in-school room in here, in this building? Do you guys
No.
have a? Do we not
We
have?
use the
have a lot,
conference
Josh.
room and the library.
Yeah. You spent some time there.
Yeah, they put them outside now.
Oh, that's smart. Run their energy off.
Oh, this is for tomorrow.
This is for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Or
are those for us?
Sorry.
nice.
Well,
Fantastic.
those homemade?
Pardon me?
Those homemade?
Yes, I didn't make them though, Mr. Anderson has connections.
Oh. Well, Mr. Anderson and I.
Right?
Oh, man.
Kat doesn't know that either.
Shosho News Press.
Yeah, no, nice to see.
Who reads that paper?
I do the roof drain so they don't ice
Oh,
dam.
yeah.
Good old flat roof. So if I do it before the snow gets this deep, it's easy to locate them. And then I'll go up and I'll throw like a roof note like that.
Right.
Trying to get the behavior set, it's like, no, put them in a behavior setting and try to squeeze in the education plan. I just thought of it that it says, we pulled them out somehow. You'd have to get to, that they are restricted environments and their overall education and creating this gap between what they're using and there. It goes both ways.
We do have an office over here. This is Mrs. Baumgartner's office. She's takes care of all our financials, and she's the librarian when the librarian's not here.
And the in-school.
And our in-school and our assessment process. She wears many hats. She's our dress for that. So that's a library workroom, and then back there is our. Tim can talk more about this because it's technical, patching two systems together to make it work through the phone system. So that is a Tim and tech question.
And then there's one more room over here.
And yes, and then, oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
That door's open for our fire alarm system. And here's our second.
Oh, the other lab, okay. Oh, this is great.
We're very blessed.
And is this where you're gonna test them? No, in the.
We'll
main-
probably test, and we haven't decided for sure. It's the first year we're gonna do all Chromebooks, and so we are discussing. We don't wanna give up our library for 3 weeks, because that's not good for all the other classes, so we're finding classrooms. We don't know.
So is that just because all the kids have to, like, different classes are doing different testing at different times, and they can't do that in their classrooms with the Chromebooks?
They need to have a proctor. We have to sign paperwork that a teacher cannot observe a student.
So the proctor couldn't come to just the classroom and the teacher leave?
Well, if they have them all in one, then she can do two classes at one time. And she can get more kids through that way. And then they can have makeup kids come in and other things.
How are the videos going to work? Linda, your
Plumbing
is
and
asking.
electrical and, as you can see, the building core is new. That, you know, the outside is all steel and concrete, pretty much bulletproof and maintenance minimum.
Electrical is rated for a certain amount of years, right?
Yeah, the electrical is you know, good for the foreseeable future of the building. I mean, we've upgraded the electrical at Pinehurst and high school, and again, that was 60 years old. So this is 460 volt over here, transformer down, a little bit more efficient, a little bit more jolt when you do something wrong. But
That's why you like hanging out here, huh?
yeah,
You learn quick, effective lessons.
like you say, yeah, you learn to turn things off instead of going, oh, that's fine.
And you guys are connected. Simon's got you guys all high-speed interneted up and everything.
Oh, yeah, we have fiber between here and there. Actually, two runs of fibers.
Right. Cool.
But yeah, the main structure is good.
Are we including any comments about the main entryway when you come out Bunker Avenue, or when you egress, as part of this evaluation, or are we doing that?
It's in our list of things to do. It's kind of in there together. The approach, the asphalt, the drainage is in both for the district office, community center, and this, and it's all one complex. So yeah, it's.
But we can comment on that in this,
Right.
regarding this building.
Right, because this, yeah, the approach to this, yeah, and the approach to this building has a few issues itself.
Yeah.
Just the slope of the asphalt, you know, some of the drainage and swales.
Are the tennis courts and basketball court used? Yeah.
It was part of a grant a long time ago, so we have to keep those as physical activities, that whole area right there, to stay compliant with the grant.
Oh.
Park and Rec.
Okay.
We have to keep it for physical activity, that area where the tennis courts is.
Is it through the city then?
It was a
What funded that?
State Park and Rec or?
federal Park and Rec money that built it, and it was the city and the school districts that went together. So the tennis courts, basketball courts, and the softball field all have to remain as outdoor activities.
Oh. Who maintains the courts? Is that supposed to be the school or the city or
It's
both?
the school. Silver Mountain actually has done most work to it because they show that on their promotion a little bit to say, hey, look what we've got to offer. That and the track.
And there are a lot of views too.
Oh yeah. And the track is under middle school in the list of things. It's obviously high school and middle school track, but it's located on the middle school site. So that's
So have
included.
we talked about that at all?
The track?
The condition of the track? I know it was redone a few years ago.
About 6 years ago now, and they recommend that about every 5 years you recoat it, and so we're a year or two past that. It needs to be resurfaced and restriped.
What's the amount of the insult on that? The cost, excuse me.
Just to or not, it's not a resurface, it's basically a top coat and restripe. It's probably around 30 grand.
Okay. To coat it and then remark it.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the last time that was recoated, it waited too long to recoat, so we had to resurface it.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be really good maintenance to keep our things going as that's a really nice track. So if we keep it coated, you know, like the last time, Jim, remember it gotten way too long before it been, so it was toast. I mean, it was holes out there and it was awful. So
We
to
couldn't
keep
even
it
hold the track meet on it.
right.
It's too
So the
dangerous.
cost to redo it would be
Yeah.
a lot more than keeping it up.
That's kind
As a
of
community,
one
I
of the
hope
things we
everybody
need to
wants
let
to.
people know, that that's one of the things that you gotta be thinking about. Buildings,
Asphalt and the roofs fall into that same kind of thing. We kind of forget about those things. In the priority list, it's always, you know, the buildings or, you know, and, you know, rightfully so. You need to make sure that your education part is happening, but those things still need attention. And I think you'll see at the high school too that we have some asphalt issues up there too. And Pinehurst as well, all the buildings have that.
What is your guys' perceived greatest area of need for this building?
To finish the project.
Yeah, I surveyed the staff. They were in on this decision. They've been planning for a long time. So their number one priority is to complete the project originally stated. That's their first, and the second is the parking and the paving. Understanding, we're very thankful for what we have.
And of course, my first is heat pumps, but you know.
Sure.
Yes, that was the third on the list.
If we can pass this bond, we can do all of those things. And they are needs. I mean, they really are. When we go to the high school, you go up there, you'll see some things that, there's been money spent in that building, but it's an old building. It's just, we're gonna go to Pinehurst next week. That's, 60, was built, finished in 54, so we're looking at about a 65-year-old building or so. And even though money has been put in it, it's still a 65-year-old building. So you'll see a lot of different things. It's like with the high school, we need to replace those bleachers. They're becoming inoperable, you know, they retract. Well, they're not the kind, they're automatically done. So if they go in and it quits, you just don't walk over there and pull those things out of there, you know. The ones over here at the community center, same type, they're all obsolete. You can't buy parts for them. And they're having problems now with one or two ends of the bleachers up there. Going there trying to get them back out. So.
Actually, the high school more is more
Yeah, Mike had to
problematic.
get like the entire leadership class to get them out and we're all took a ball.
Oh yeah, they're hard. Yeah, some they're hard. You know, they're really, if you've been in a building that has the new bleachers, I mean, I tell you guys, you go up there and try and climb up those steps. I'm there, I'm old, and I tell you, it's hard. There's no railings or anything, you know. But my wife, she's had 3 back surgeries. She's not very mobile.
Like every 3 steps is like a step.
You don't climb very far.
Because they're so
Like you said, it's the second or third.
Second or third,
So,
that's
yeah.
about it, you know, so those need to be replaced. Between that one and the, over here at the community center, you're probably looking at $320,000 to $350,000 just for bleachers. And we need them, we really do.
And there's another issue that in the state of Idaho, safety is becoming more and more important for us to follow things that the state is handing down, and they're not giving us any money, so it comes out of what we would do. We might fix those bleachers, but we put money into safety because we need to. Tim, could you or maybe Jan address what we've done to this building for safety, to improve the safety? I think this is probably the most safe building we have, but what other things are required to make this a safe building through the safety inspections that we've received?
We're thankful we were able to have the entryway, the end doors, and the back door. You have to have a fob to get in that second door. It is bulletproof glass when you come through that front door. You have to be buzzed in during school hours. Our intercom system, we just now, our paging's working, so we're hitting most of those targets. The number one identification on the safety audit was our students going back and forth between the 2 buildings. And it came up when we had our practice lockdown with the Sheriff's Department too. They said you have to think about more than just a catastrophic event here, but we're right off the freeway, or if there's a custody battle, that opens us up for trouble. In terms of other measures on. That was the only one really identified. They did say we didn't have health posters in our cafeteria. We recommend that. But other than that, we're looking very good and safe.
And all of our buildings have been assessed, so that's why I asked that question here, so that we can hear the same story at the other buildings about their safety issues.
So let's say we pass this bond. It sounds like there's just an enormous number of projects that have to be completed. How's that all going to work?
Well, we have 3 years. If we pass it, we have 3 years. 3 years to spend 85% of that, that's $7 million. But as Tim, he can tell you, yeah, the projects. Yeah, we have a lot of big projects. If the money's there, it's like Tim said. Outfit may bid on 2 or 3 of those. If they have a, it's that economy thing, scale. If I could do 3 projects for you, great. We'll see if we get this done, and some of those projects, for instance, are bleachers, for instance. Those can be put in summer. There's other things that can be done during the summer. There's probably some things, even like a locker room. Tim said you could begin that in early spring or something if you needed to, or whatever. But they are things that, we see all the needs that are here, and if we could just, go out, like I told you, out at Canyon. I'm an optimist, so I think we could go out and sell this. At least you got to put it out there and let people know that there is a need here, and we're not. That's why you guys are here, because we're not trying to pull the wool over your eyes for anything. When you wait till you go through Pinehurst and go up to the high school and go back over here, and you'll see, some of those needs are pretty glaring. And we're in a situation now in Pinehurst where we have those 452 kids out there. Well, you might say we're probably about maxed out there. So we need to look at remodeling, doing some things out there.